Welcome back to Casual Camping and Outdoors. Today we're going to be taking a look at a part 2 of the Bigfoot Bushcraft fire plugs. In my first review of these fire plugs, I told you that you didn't have to use a whole plug to make a fire. You could use one plug and probably make at least half a dozen fires. Someone challenged me to show them exactly that, so let's see if it's actually accomplishable. Stay tuned. Alright, so once again we're on a tailgate tabletop, so to speak. So Bigfoot Bushcraft. These little fire plugs are amazing. That's about an inch long or so, give or take. Now, when we talk about starting a fire, one thing we want to keep in mind is that this is not a survival channel per se. Although some of the skills that you learn being a casual camper obviously might translate over into a survival situation, we're going to make the presumption that you are making your fire under ideal or close to ideal situations, meaning your wood isn't soaking wet, you're not in the middle of a rainstorm, that type of thing. If your wood is wet, I would go ahead and use the entire plug. You'll get a longer burn time, it'll dry out your kindling a little bit better. You might even use 2 of these little plugs. But if you're doing it under more ideal conditions, how many fires can you get? Well, I said 6, but I think I can get more than 6 out of here. So I'm going to cut off just these. That's about the size of a watch battery. So I'm going to cut them off as cleanly as I can. And this little Martini is how I was told it was pronounced. This little Martini knife, having such a keen edge, is really good for this. Now, do these have an advantage of or over and above your cotton balls and petroleum jelly, or your cotton balls and chapstick, something of that nature? Yes, they do. The advantage is this has no residue. This isn't going to make a mess. You can't stick a cotton ball with petroleum jelly in your pocket and expect to walk around with it and you not to have a big wet stain in the front of your pocket. Might bring up some questions you don't want to answer. So I cut these into about the size of watch batteries. So we got 3, 6, 9, 11. So let's see if all of them will ignite and if they will burn long enough in order to start a fire under good conditions. And the wind is blowing out here, so I'm hoping not to get these to blow away. These things light up. Here, I'll just do them all at once. That one's going. And as you can see, these little Martini knives, I need to fluff those a little bit. Those are more like a pill. So if you want them to take, you need to fluff them just a tad and expose the fibers, because it is kind of a cotton-like material. It probably is cotton on the inside. So you want to kind of spread that out and expose your fibers a little bit. And as you can see from the 2 I've got ignited there, they're going, and they're going good. You can also tell it's windy out here. But you just want to expose them fibers up a little bit. Matter of fact, one of them is kind of catching on to the others. That one may be a little bit small, so, but we'll see. The wind is blowing the flame, and I've got them situated close enough here where at least one of them has lit just from the wind blowing the flame from the other ones. There, now let's try that. That's going. That's going. That's going. going. That's going. And that's going. So, oh, this one didn't go. I thought it did. Wind blew it out, I think. See what I mean by exposing those fibers? There we go. So, nearly a dozen fires out of one plug. That's pretty dang good if you ask me. So, final thoughts. I've become a big fan of Bigfoot Bushcraft's fire plugs. They work phenomenally well. They don't make a mess. They don't leave a nasty residue all over the place. No, they're not as cheap as cotton balls and petroleum jelly, or cotton balls in Dollar Tree chapstick or something of that nature. But there's a convenience factor. I mean, you can either purchase the little tin or not. You can purchase their ferro rod, which is a really good ferro rod, which that's not the one I was using today, or not. Or you can buy just packages of these little fire plugs. Again, you can use a whole one, and I'd recommend using a whole one if you're kindling or tinder is wet, but it's not necessary under more ideal conditions. So that's an even bigger value in my opinion. And if, obviously you don't even have to you can put that in your pocket and it's not going to leave a mess. You could drop one in a little Ziploc baggie, or a couple of them in a little Ziploc baggie, and you've got fire making materials till doomsday. So again, thanks for joining us on this isn't Bigfoot Bushcraft. This is Bigfoot Bushcraft. I'm Casual Camping and Outdoors. Getting old sucks. We'll see ya.